I remember when I was teaching my kids to ride bicycles, and again, when they were learning to drive, I used to say this phrase to them: be predictable. When you're predictable, people know what you're going to do. They they understand, they can guess where you're going. And when people understand what you're going to do and the decisions you're going to make, especially on the road, keeps everyone safe. Think about the times when you get frustrated with another driver. They're doing something that's unpredictable. They're merging when they shouldn't. They're making a turn in front of you without even having their blinker on. They're stopping at what seems to be a weird time because their blinker's not on, but they're just pulling into a driveway. They're being unpredictable. And when you're driving, it's good to be predictable on the road, right? That's what I wanted to teach my kids, is be predictable. But being predictable also helps in leadership. One of the things it does is it increases trust with your team. They find it easier to understand. They find it, that your actions are consistent. So it increases that trust with you because you're predictable. It also improves communication. They understand what's expected. They can deliver to that. They understand the goals. They deliver to that. You're being predictable. The goals are predictable. They are able to follow you. Next thing you know is you have greater effectiveness as a team. When your team knows what to expect, they can plan more effectively. There's none of those 5 p.m. fire drills. They know what to expect from you. They already had the expectations. Of course, things happen. But they understand, and so you get greater effectiveness. They're not waiting for the other shoe to drop. There's better decision making. Since your decisions are consistent and predictable, your team will feel empowered to make decisions and focus on what's important. You're no longer having to micromanage everything that they're doing. You're predictable. It's easy to go. It's easy to understand. Lastly, there's less stress. We all want less stress in our life. Let's face it, predictable leaders help create a more stable and less stressful work environment. There isn't constant changes. That doesn't mean that you always have the answers or that everything's right in front of you. But when you're predictable for your team, there's less stress to go around. And that is a wonderful thing. Look, there are times to be unpredictable. If you're telling a funny story, if you're disrupting the status quo, if you're taking on a challenge of a new project that nobody's ever done before, good times to be unpredictable. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about how you're being predictable for your team, how you're being predictable for those around you. And please, if you're around me, be predictable on the road. It really helps us all out. So go be predictable.